So the first thing that I asked you is whether Udasicola votes is a local variable or a global variable. And you should have determined that it was a local variable. Well, to figure this out, you go to where the variable is declared, which is here. And you know it's declared because the data type is right here. And you see, is it declared inside of a method, meaning between the two curly braces here, or is it declared outside of the method? Now, if it's declared inside of a method, that means that it's a local variable, and we can see very clearly that it is in fact declared inside of a method. So it's a local variable. Well, what does that mean? We should also be asking ourselves, if I declared something as a local variable, should I have? Let's think about it in this case. Here's our phone, and we've been talking about Udasicola, so let's only focus on when we click the Udasicola button. When we click this button, this method starts. It sets Udasicola votes to 0, and then it adds 1 to Udasicola votes, which is 0. So Udasicola votes becomes 1. Now because Udasicola votes is a local variable, at the end of this method, it actually sort of dies or gets deleted. The fact that Udasicola votes is trashed and gone at the end of this method because it's a local variable causes a couple problems. So why is this a problem? Well, you would think that if 3 different people voted for Udasicola by clicking on the button, that Udasicola votes should be 3. Well, what actually happens is the first time you click on the button, Udasicola votes becomes 0, it gets 1 added to it, becoming 1, and then it gets trashed, it doesn't exist anymore. The second time that somebody clicks on Udasicola votes, well, Udasicola votes is made all over again, it's declared again. Because remember, the first time it had essentially gotten trashed, so it needs to be remade. And when it's remade, it's set to 0. Now we add 1 again to it, but remember the value is 0, so Udasicola votes is still 1 even though the button's been clicked twice. And the same thing happens when it's clicked the third time. It still is 1, and it's actually trashed again at the end of this method. So that's the first problem. It's not really saving the state between button clicks about how many people have voted for Udasicola. But another problem is down here. This code's actually going to throw an error, and the reasoning for that is because remember, I said that Udasicola votes sort of comes into existence, or its scope begins right here. And then at the end of this vote Udasicola method, it is trashed, it's out of existence. Which means when I come down here, Udasicola votes doesn't really exist. More technically, we say that this variable's out of scope. Its scope was here, it got declared here, and it ended here. But we're trying to use it down here, and it can't be used. Having Udasicola votes be local was not the correct decision in this case, and I could summarize why with these 2 points. It's not saving the vote amount between button clicks, and it's not in scope for the show me votes method, so this will actually cause errors. So this will actually not compile. Okay, so let's look at the other variable in this program.